So we are on air right now, live
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Yeah. So
We'll be famous soon.
I hope not. We don't want paparazzi to follow us.
we wait for other people to connect, or we are 19, like COVID, like COVID.
Nice. What a comparison you find.
I think each country has different rules. So we are respecting the Italian law, aren't we?
Which one? Being the same number with the
But,
COVID number?
Tonight, Italy wins to against Romania.
Sì, sono...
Luca, okay.
Yeah, I can do it from my.
Yeah, you have the buttons, the right buttons.
Yeah.
I think we
If in
can
comment.
start. Or no, or not.
Yeah, please start.
You also put in unmute yourself.
Okay.
Sorry, I mute you. There is someone. Alessandro Catellani. Ti muto subito, ok.
Someone's typing furiously.
Okay. So, hi everyone. Good evening. I inform you that this event will be broadcast live on Facebook from the on-off and for pages. And no record now because we have the video on Facebook after. I'm Rossella Lombardozzi, Community Manager of Officine On from Parma, Italy. I'm glad to see you. Welcome to Creative Apps in times of COVID-19. And I also apologize for my bad English in advance. This event is the final result of the professional exchange between two European creative apps, Officine On from Parma, Italy, and for Timișoara, Romania, within the European Creative Flip P2P program 2020. The aim of this event is to present the document, the final document, resulting from the exchange of good practices between collaborative workspaces through digital manufacturing, training, self-entrepreneurship, and community engagement. For survival and overcoming, we hope so, health, social and economic crisis like the one we are all experiencing. The Creative Flip project is implemented by a consortium of 6 partners led by the Goethe Institute, and it supports healthy and sustainable ecosystems related to finance, learning, innovation, and patenting for cultural and creative industries. So I am glad to present you the lineup. Giorgio Valente.
Hi, everybody. I'm Giorgio Valente, and I'm a fundraiser for On-Off.
Okay, thank you, Giorgio. Florin Furdi.
Hello, yeah, my name is Florin Furdi. I am a virtualization and cloud engineer by day mostly, and a maker by night. I also have a mechanical engineering degree, and so many interests to work on. Thank you.
Thank you, Florin. Irene Mezzetti.
I apparently couldn't unmute myself, but anyway, I'm Irene Mezzetti. I'm a civil service volunteer for Ibo Italia.
Okay. And Alexandra Maria Riegler. We can't hear you, Alexandra. Sorry. Maybe you have to exit and come back. Or
We can hear you, Alexandra.
Unmute.
after we can talk with Alexandra. And the last one, but not the least, Pepe Peralta Guerrero.
Hi, I'm Pepe Peralta Guerrero. Please, Rosella, give me allow access to share my screen.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Alexandra, we couldn't hear you, maybe, but we're gonna come back to you later. So I'm Pepe. I'm Pepe Peralta Guerrero. I'm space manager from for FOR. In FOR, and I'm also an architect and a maker, both by day and by night. So, and I'm gonna continue from here, if it's okay for you, Rosella. Thank you for the presentation. The first thing I think we should know is that this exchange should have been physically. I mean, me and Florin going to Parma. So tonight, actually, you have to imagine that we are here with some Parmigiano cheese and some wine, even though it's not necessarily the case. But I want to, I mean, I'm putting myself in this state of mind. So because we couldn't, we did it online, and we try to make the best of it. And this is precisely what is this about these last 9-10 months in where being hubs, that means physical space for us was an asset and something important. And now physical space and sharing physical space is a problem. But we kind of managed to make things happen, even though the circumstances weren't the better, or are not the better still, because we are still there. And yes, so this change, I'm gonna share my screen. Actually, the first thing that, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
we can.
Okay, so creative hubs in time of COVID-19. Some things, all the people involved to make it possible, even for and on off, the most important one, alongside with Flip. You have to understand that this is really the tool that we came with after our session of work, and it aims to be a guideline, kind of, in where we show our good practices for other people, maybe to implement them in other contexts. And well, I'm sharing it, the things that we are not presenting necessarily, we are giving a glimpse of it. So, and it's gonna be available, downloadable by online. We're gonna send it to you by mail. So everything that is not presented tonight, this evening by us, is gonna be accessible from here. I hope it's gonna be useful. Okay, so this is a little bit I think you cannot see it right now better, isn't it? The working sessions have been like that. We should make at least 10 hours of common work like that, Zoom calls or other platforms. And we make it in 5 sessions. At the beginning, we present ourselves. And it's very important to say that the whole guideline, the whole document follows the same rule, because it came like that, and it kind of made sense. So at the beginning, we just present ourselves. We kind of put on the table what we are, what we do, what we are, basically, our similarities, our differences. Then we exchange what we do. We discuss more than 10 projects that are being working both, 10 projects, 5 for on off, 5 for 4, and we put in this document just 6, 3 and 3, and here tonight we are presented just 1 to give a glimpse of it, but the rest of them are accessible. Well, the third session, we shared some tools that we have been using in order to get to know better our communities, our respective communities, our needs, or I mean, and we are sharing also in the documents the surveys that we used to do so. So it's a tool that can be reused, let's say it like that. And the 4th and the 5th conclusions, we try to wrap it up to try to understand what are our strengths, our weaknesses, the opportunities that lies on the situation that we are living, and of course the conclusions. Very briefly, this is an amazing image of Officine On. And they are an association that was more at the beginning to manage a co-working space, and became also a Fab Lab. And they, alongside having the co-working space itself, they give also orientation and trainings, principally mainly in self-entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship for youngsters. And yes, they try to activate in this kind of things the community. You can see here in the card some other data like the year of constitution and another useful things. We are not entering all the details. And here, this is the 4th team in our building before it was completed, but it's a big team and with amazing. Here, Garo, you couldn't hear her, but is here. She's smiling all the time. You will hear about her. And we are a company. We are not an association. We do have also a co-working space and some prototyping and digital manufacturing lab, a maker space. And we understand what we do in 4 pillars: space, which is the collaborative space that we're talking about; growth, that they are trainings or education; design. We are also we are architects in the background as academic background, so we are also designers. And of course, we continue the making architecture, our services, some of the data. This kind of template could be used to characterize other hubs. But yes, here a glimpse of our similarities, our differences. We are not entering there because I don't think it's that important. The second session was about what we do, the exchange of good practices. And well, basically, what are we doing this last 10 months, 9 months of pandemic, which is a lot. But I mean, it's not that much, but it seems a lot. Yes. So the 4 thematic subjects that we are trying to understand things through have been community engagement, education and training, digital fabrication, and entrepreneurship. You could see that also here. I mean, and well, I would like to let also Florin, before entering in the projects themselves, I would like to let Florin to talk a little bit about his particular situation, because actually he's an active member of the 4 community, but he's not coming to the space so often. We could say he's not really coming to the space. So Florin, could you say 2 things about that and how this could be representative about the things that are going on?
Yes, I can say a few things. So yeah, coming to the actual space was not possible for me because mainly because of the pandemic that we are going through. It's a pain. I intended to come to the co-working space and to do my stuff from there because right now it takes like 10 times more time to do even little changes, and also for the coordination with the staff there. I am doing some small scale prototyping for some project that I have, and it was just to test the waters. This Fab Lab, the co-working space and the makerspace 4 is new on the market. I recently came from abroad. I was living for a few years in Northern Europe, and then I was very used to go to the Fab Labs and makerspaces and do stuff from there. So I was very relieved when I heard that there is such a space opening up here in my home country. So I wanted to test the waters and started a small project, but I cannot go there mainly because yeah, my wife is working in the health in the health department, and in the hospitals. Yeah, they are always at the risk of contracting COVID, and I'm very aware of the many deaths that I've been hearing about. So trying not to get it or not to give it by unknowing that I might be a carrier, I decided not to go to the co-working yet. So I don't know, Pepe, if you want to hear more about it.
No, it's okay. I just want to show you the prototype that you made. I don't know if you spoke about it, but it's cool because it's like it's a microgreen grower, and actually we are prototyping it, even though we are in the same city. Also, not really through Zoom, but on the distance. This is why I thought Florin could.
Maybe this is important to mention that even our first meetings, I told you that in my situation, I would like to use your space as a service provider. Because it's not possible for me to come, or I decided not to come. So yeah, I send you drawings, you laser cut them, and so basically during these times your space works for me as a service provider, which is a big change. It's a big leap from what you intended with it, but yeah, this is a constant in our times.
Thank you, Florin.
Thank you.
I think it's time to enter to the projects themselves. Irene is gonna present a project very linked to On-Off, a very nice project. You're gonna see it, and now she's showing her own presentation. And then when we come back, I'm gonna show you how it look in our guide.
Okay, thank you, Pepe. Let's see if I can do this. I think I can. I have the ability. Okay, you should be seeing my screen now, and I'm going to switch to presentation loading. I hope you can see it.
We can.
So, okay, awesome, great. So before explaining our project, Sporta Mia Casa, which is an online platform for home delivery services, I wanted to give you a very super brief like a context. So IBO Italia, which I'm doing my civil service this year at, has 2 branches. The one in Parma has its home in the co-working space On-Off. And this is very important because this place is also home to other freelancers that decided to put their expertise and their skills in the making of this online platform. So if we didn't have these pre-existing connection, there was no way, well, I mean, maybe there would have been a way, but this made it so much easier for us to create this online platform. So going back to Sporta Mia Casa and IBO, so IBO Italia is an Italian NGO, and it's committed to promoting quality education as a right for all. This means that we want to promote the access to education as a fundamental right for everyone. So we also try to encourage volunteering, especially in the youngsters, towards their community or other local communities. This means that we do not usually operate in emergency situations. So this was something new, but what we do is providing volunteers where they are needed. So going back to Sporta Mia Casa, well, there's no need for me to tell you what happened in March all over the world and how Italy was hit by the coronavirus. and how the sanitary crisis that followed left a lot of people stranded at home. So we started receiving calls in our Parma offices from people that couldn't leave their homes due to health issues, due to the fact that they had children that they couldn't leave unattended, and they couldn't go get groceries, get medicines, get all the stuff they needed. We were also getting calls from volunteers that wanted to offer their help. So we saw that there was a gap. We saw that the community needed help. There was a lack of organization, and we wanted to be the bridge that connects the two things, because that's what we do. We always provide volunteers, so why not providing them to our community in a situation of emergency? But first, we didn't know how to do that. So we started thinking, and then we got a coffee with with other freelancers at On-Off, and we started talking about our idea, which was to create an online portal. These people decided to, as I said, put their skills to the test and see what they could do. They were able to develop this website because they are, of course, experts in web designing, computer programming, and graphic design. So basically, we wanted to create a portal to intercept the community needs from one side, offer help, and also give volunteers a place to go to find associations that needed help. So basically, something about this Sporta Mia Casa that I've been saying. As I said, then again, our target is basically both sides. So we just wanted to be a way of responding to a need, and this is what the heading looks like. And as you can tell, it says home services, not to feel alone anymore. Because the target is also people that are isolated at home and stranded in this kind of emergency. So how does the portal work? Very brief overview. It started as a regional project. So right here, you only see our region, Emilia-Romagna, divided by its provinces. So you would click on your province and you would see what are the the home delivery service that are provided in this case. As you can also see, there are two different buttons, and due to this duality of the platform, you can be an association registering, or you can be a volunteer that wants to help. In this way, we can connect the volunteers to the associations that need the help. So it works in more ways than one, obviously, and the process is easy. We map the local offers and services. The association can register, and we link the volunteer to the associations. So this way we offer the service to a beneficiary in the end. So it's a whole process that starts from a need and ends with a solution, or at least that's what we hope. And we already reached with this platform a lot of people. So we were really glad about that, and that's also why the project is going to be national now. So instead of that little map that you could see here of just the region Emilia-Romagna, you will see on this online portal the whole country, so whole Italy, and you could click on the regions or the provinces where this service is actually active. But enough with the explanation how the portal works, because I hope that none of you needs to actually work it or need it. But the very important part that we were really happy about was this connection, like the fact that we could use digital tools that have helped us immensely in the past 8 months to create something that was a social need. So thanks to the connection, the human connections that we had at the co-working space, we were able to turn just a simple volunteering project in a working collaboration that we will continue and will broaden in the future. So actually, this is basically it for me. So I don't know if I went too fast or if there were questions or something, but I guess the important part was that in a time of need for our community, we decided to do something about it, and we were able to do something about it because there were these synergies, there were these connections that helped us really achieve our goal, our dream, let's say. And I will stop sharing and shut up right here. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Irene. I do have questions, but we're going to have time for it at the end. Let's try once again with Alexandra Maria.
Can you hear me now? Yeah. So, hello everyone. Happy to join you. My name is Alexandra Rigler. I'm also an architect and a cultural manager. I'm part of the FOR collective, and I'm the coordinator of the growth pillar. So nice to meet you all.
Alexandra,
Yeah.
could you, I'm going to show you something before it. Just to make you an idea, to come back to our document, this is how a card for a project looks like. And this is Portami a Casa, the project that Irene has presented super well. And you can see here a short description, difficulties, positive aspects, future development, and some other data that could be useful, and yes, maybe project related or this kind of thing. Now, Alexandra will tell us about this year I Print My Christmas Gift, which is a project made by FOR. And now I'm gonna let the room to Alexandra to make it a little more.
So, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, I will briefly present you a project that we just had with more than 170 children. We all know that children have been in several months of lockdown and that daily studying has become a struggle and activities less and less varied for them. So we've wanted to tackle the problem of the lack of meaningful experiences for children living their lives in isolated bubbles during the second wave of the pandemic, especially handling Christmas. And therefore we had, let's say, three inputs for 3 age groups under 6 years old, in between 6 and 10, and in between 11 and 17. So our first, let's say, output was a course for the third age group, 11-17, that was actually an adaptation from a course that we previously conceived for adults, a 4 hours course that we had to, you know, turned into an online 1 hour one. Therefore, we organized an introduction to 3D printing course, an overview on how manufacturing works, as a glimpse about the history of it, the different materials and technologies, with printed examples. Also, as we've wanted the children not only to take part in an online course, but we've sent them a snowflake that we 3D printed and they it's the one from this one that they can put in their Christmas trees. For the second course, for children to between 6 and 10 years, we've adapted, let's say, our course, and we've had a storytelling, let's say, initiative in which the facilitator started the tale by using 3D laser cutted snowflakes as characters, and the story unfolded, and each children had his own input and contributed to the final, let's say, unfolding of the story. And since we've wanted to, address all age groups, we've decided that for smaller children, it will be important to have an object, the one that you can see here in the left part of my screen. We've made this object, the diorama, as we called it, that was designed and fabricated by us as a decorative, but also a sensorial experience, since it exemplifies a varied array of shapes, texture, and transparencies. So that is it. If Pepe wants to add something to what I've just introduced you.
I just will add that actually these three tokens or items, children are receiving it before Christmas, as a reminder of the experience that they have had. For the little ones, it wasn't a course because it will be more a problem for the parents. Children under 6 years old is complicated for a Zoom call, but for the rest, they were involved in the courses. The one in between 6 and 10 was with Alexandra made it, and it was amazing, this kind of co-creation of the storytelling. And then they are receiving the characters that they use to imagine these tales. And for the bigger one, actually they were seeing how this snowflake gimbal is a three-dimensional thing, you can put it, was being printed. While the course, we have many cameras, one of the speakers, another one's seeing the process, and then they are receiving it. So it's kind of transforming the online experience somehow in something tangible. And yes, the feedback was very positive. And yes, even though it's very linked to the Christmas, it's some ideas of it can implement it also outside Christmas. I'm gonna share you my screen because previously I didn't do that in order you to see what I told you. Can you see my screen right now?
Yes, we can, Pepe.
Okay, sorry. So just to come back to our document, this is how a card of a project looks like. This is Porta-me a casa, the project that Irene showed us very nicely. And this year I print my Christmas gift. You can see there is a picture, a little description, difficulties, positive aspects, and other data. This is what I told before Alexandra started her presentation. Well, here I'm gonna show you other projects, but not talking about them, just going through. And the next tool or practice that we discuss in our sessions were this sharing of data collection tools. And here we have the links, so you can enter them. Sorry. Can you see me? Okay, we have the links, and you can use these resources. We have two kind of surveys. The first one were made by 4, and this one was made by Officine On. The one on Officine On was directly for their community. The moment before opening, they sent it to them in order to understand their fears or their expectations, so they could tailor and make their services much more according to what they were living and how they were feeling. In our case, 4 opened its door, physically speaking, October 23rd, 2020, so 2 months roughly. And we have been around making the refurbishment of the building when we are like 2 years or something like that, but we really need to understand what does mean to open a hub and how the rules work for this time of COVID. So we made 2 surveys. How do you run your hub? How do you manage your community? That they are linked to COVID, to the COVID situation, but not only, in order to understand better. And they were links, they were surveys sent to peers. I mean, people like Rosella. Actually, Rosella for Officine On asked this for us, and we are sharing it with you also, so you can, if you are dealing with this kind of problems, you can use it, adapt it. So this is also part of this guideline toolkit. Then the fourth and the fifth session, the fourth and the fifth session were about wrapping up a little bit everything and trying to understand, to take some conclusion out of that. So please, Giorgio, if you can talk us a little more about what the 2 last sessions were about and the conclusions that we came at, it would be amazing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I must say that it's hard to talk after the incredible presentations of the good practices, but I will try. Yeah, as Pepe was saying, at the end of the sessions, actually, we kind of realized that all the activities we did throughout the whole 2020 had some common characteristics, and these characteristics permitted us to be resilient, to be anti-frail in the pandemic situation. And what we did was a SWOT analysis, and you can find the SWOT analysis in the guidelines, but I am going to talk about the SWOT analysis by showing only 2 main characteristics that I think have been most important in this 2020 for us as creative hubs and for us as staff and members of our communities and our creative hubs. The first main characteristic is flexibility. And I think I am right when I say that all of our projects and good practices show us that the skills, the hard and soft skills that we already had in us and in ourselves permitted us to be flexible during the 2020, during the pandemic, and when COVID struck, I mean in March, I think that was really the last thing we were expecting. But yeah, after we have really been rapid. We came up with some ideas that that were useful solutions for the situation in which we found ourselves. And flexibility is a key word for all 2020, in my opinion, because our ability to be flexible and to adapt ourselves to the situation made us capable of creating customizable solutions for the problem we were facing. Also considering that our creative hubs, our forms, is a hybrid form. So our hub itself must be considered flexible in a way. The second main characteristic that I would say is digitalization of content. This was a key element during 2020. And also it was a key element for both of us because we had to... And so Rosella, can you please... okay, sorry. Digitalization was a key element in our solutions because both of our hubs actually implemented, for example, training courses online. And this was actually an opportunity that this 2020 gave us. It was not only an opportunity to do something, to implement some activities different from the normal, if we can call them that way, activities that we do. But it allowed us also to reach a wider public, for example. Of course, we must say also that digitalization made it difficult for us to stand out in a time, in an era where every day we find this online event and that online event we can participate in. So after doing these considerations, we reached a conclusion that led us to knowing what could be some future developments for ourselves, for our hubs, but also for our communities and our realities that are similar to ours. These future developments may be to, for example, maintain and implement the entrepreneurial and managerial skills of our operators, to invest in the commercial development of the production section supported by our digital manufacturing technologies, because maybe we didn't say this, but both of our communities have fab labs and manages digital fabrication technologies. I think it's important to activate some hybrid communication channel that permit us to both engage our communities online and offline. And for sure, I think it's very important to identify future context and possibilities for further collaborate with each other. Yeah, and that's all. I think I will shut up now. Yeah, so right now, I think we will open the space for questions. We will do a little bit of a Q&A. So if anybody has questions, please write them in the chat, or I don't know, unmute yourself and speak. You are allowed to do that, I think. Tell us, what do you think? Do you have comments?
I will say something of organization. There are 10 more minutes left until 6 o'clock in Italy, until 7 o'clock here in Romania, because we have different time, as you said. I will say, if feel free to ask anything, and don't be stressed by time. We can take our time to make the room open. And also it was kind of hard to condense everything in just 1 hour, and we picked just 2 projects, but we could have made up until 6. So please feel free to ask anything. If no one has question, I will have a question for Irene and for Rosella, and also for Giorgio, I guess. I love the project of Sportami. I mean, we had time to discuss about it in our session because it's a very nice, but I don't have understood for the presentation actually, what was the role of on-off in the creation of Sportami itself, because this is a perspective that interests us right now, how a creative hub was one of the promoters, or maybe the key, one of the key elements, not the only one, but one of the key elements for a project like Sportami to come true.
Unless Giorgio or Rosella want to go, but basically the fact that the IBO Italia sort of offices, let's to say, have their branch in the same co-working space as On-Off is. We were able to work close by with programmers that work there, and we used their expertise to create the site. So we had the idea and they put it in practice because we didn't have the tools to do it ourselves. So if we weren't there and we didn't already know them due to the fact that we were so close by, like physically also, we wouldn't have had that advance in order to do it. Then if Giorgio or Rosella want to add something, I don't know if I explained it right or the way. I don't know if I answered your question.
I think that you pretty much covered the answer. Maybe I would only add that I think it would be a great example of how the On-Off community works, or how we would like for the On-Off community to work. So it's an example for us of our community engagement. And yeah, the fact that IBO couldn't have internally the instruments and the tools and the abilities, the skills to produce a portal, yeah, an online website, and it asked us to do it. You know, it was like it was, yeah, as Irene said, very easy to face On-Off's co-workers and professionals, and do it together.
So it's a paradigmatic, a very good example of synergies in a hub.
Yeah, yeah.
And of people having an idea and other people sitting nearby, helping them to make it real. So,
yes.
So cool. Okay. Alexandra, I have a question for you. You say that this idea, at least partially, of this whole thing, this year I print my Christmas gift, was initially something physical and for adults. How, I mean, why and how did it transform to something online and for children, and if it's gonna continue somehow, because it's very linked to Christmas, and I would like to know if I mean, I know, but you know, I'm playing this game and I'm asking, so I'm sorry, it's a bad joke, but please explain us a little more about these two things. How did it transform, and how will it adapt, if it's the case, to other applications? Not very linked to, not that linked with Christmas or.
Basically, we had an opportunity. There was a company that wanted to, let's say, have for their children's employees some sort of workshops. But since the company has branches in 2 cities, and since it's very hard to organize physical workshops. I mean, you can do it here in Romania, but with a few people and keeping all the distances and everything. And for a workshop in which you actually, you know, work with your hands and so on, it's not something that you should do. So therefore, we've accepted this challenge, and we've decided to, as I said, to address all age groups. This was actually a challenge because, as I said, the children are now, you know, in the second semester of online learning. They had a lot of months of only online learning, and having another online activity was you know, was something that we had to consider when designing the courses. I implemented the one with the storytelling for children from between 6 and 10 years. And it was really, really nice. They played along and they continued the tale really, really nicely. And the fact that the characters, the 3 snowflakes, you know, were part of their co-creation, yeah, of the story, and that they will, you know, have them before Christmas. It's something that I think that we've did well. The characters had the names and everything. It was like amazing. So, Pepe, I hope I answered your question. I don't know.
You do. I just will add the fact that now we have this kind of courses or workshop in our curricula. They could be adapted to physical presence when the situation changes. And we can keep these kind of things also online next year on Christmas, of course, but changing a little bit the focus of, or the objects that we are using, they could be adapted also for other years. And using this opportunity that this company gave us somehow helped us to cover the cost and so on, to make it and to keep it in our curricula. So there is something that is already in our, let's say, library of things that we could can do and implement further on. I mean, yes. So I don't know. I really would like to hear something from someone, not because we have we have spoken a lot. The lineup, as Rosella said. Everything we did we make this clear that there is not doubts or
Yeah, exactly.
or maybe
Yeah,
if you have other experiences related with this kind of operation of switching things to adapt to the situation, it could be nice to hear about them.
Okay, may I say something as a okay, so I just want to thank you everybody. My name is Luca, and I'm Luca Boccedi, and I am the president of On-Off, and I just want to thank you all, for all of you, because you started this project, and it is very, very interesting. And I think that our community, I mean the community that was formed during this year in our spaces, let's say our spaces are always sometimes kind of a different kind of home, okay? So created a strong relationship between the people that are inside, and this is the reasons why many of us started working together, and we faced with a lot of, let's say, courage, this situation that put, especially in March, the model of sharing things went to a big crisis, because our business model was went to crisis. So I think that having a strong community and having a lot of skills that are shared between people and yeah, different kind of professionals helped us to create strong relationships also like this one, this international one. And we faced this situation and this year with a lot of, can I say, yes, courage. And I thank you, all of you, because you all started and you all reacted to the situation with the, you know, trying to save our business model and our community, and, you know, giving hope for the next year.
Thank you, Luca. Very, very inspiring, and yeah, it helps having this kind of feedback. As I said, we have this document. We're gonna put it online, and you can access to it. If we want, we can send it to you because we have your emails. I see that Susana is trying to connect her audio. Maybe she wants to say something.
Nana, you want to say something?
She's not succeeding on connecting her audio.
No.
I would like,
No.
yeah, if there's a slot for a few more minutes of talking, I want to say that actually I was very surprised by this prolonging the activity from the online to the offline, that the snowflake stories, the dioramas and everything were about. It actually shows, and it gives hope that even if this situation would continue, there are, you know, creative juices at work that can make it more human. Because this online thing, even for me as a, I know I'm used to working with machines and CNCs and 3D printers, it really I feel that not being there, I lose a lot. And what Irene said about using the programmer skills in the workspace for another project that they had in mind, and being able to do that inside the co-working space, that is something that I also tried to get to when I first heard of FOR. For me, it was a big plus that I could come there and meet people, or like-minded people, or at least people with such a different skill set, that my ideas could be easier to get out there. So yeah, this is it was a very inspiring presentation for me, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Yeah, from my own set of interests, I would like to ask Officine or somebody from Officine if you had any requests to be a service, like I did for not being able to go there. I asked them if they could actually do stuff for me, and I would come and get them once a week and analyze them at home and stuff like this.
You're talking about the machines, no? I mean, you want to send
about the
some file and just
I'm a
get
user
in.
of the makerspace and all that part of stuff. So like services in products, maybe smaller
Production.
ones, yeah, in production.
I don't know if I actually didn't understand the question.
If I asked, so the question is if you had any requests from users, or maybe not actual users of the makerspace, if you had requests to I don't know, to do the service of producing an object and just handing it to them, like I did with FOR.
instead of going there and
instead of
I don't
going
know,
and doing it myself.
laser cutting or 3D printed thing or fabricating things, request for, I want this to be done, someone could do this for me there, if it's happening in Officine or not.
Yes, for sure, but I think it's also a service that our Fab Lab offers in general, not only to makers, you know. For sure, our Fab Lab as a service also offers the opportunity to print or to laser cut others projects, for like your example, Florin. I cannot make you an example right now, but maybe I saw that Luca.
Yeah, I can help you.
Okay, thank you.
We have to kind of approach to the Fab Lab spaces. You can be like a client, so you give us your file and we print it, or we do with whatever you want for you. So you will have back your job, with anything you asked done, okay? Or otherwise you can become a maker of our community, so you can have access to the spaces when it was possible, of course, not right now, when it was possible, and you can join the makers community, and after a while you can be allowed to use the machines, but you have to, we want to be sure that you can understand how to use the machines correctly. So that's why that's another step, because is that the question?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense. You actually answered a lot from what I wanted to hear.
Okay.
Thank you.
So let's say that the most part of our work, they come like clients, so they come from outside and they ask us for something to be done, and we produce it inside using our stuff and buying the materials if we have to buy some materials, and then we give to the client the product finished.
This part of production is one of the few services that a Fab Lab or a makerspace can offer that didn't suffer from the pandemic, but the other way around. It was helped somehow because
somehow it was helped, and at the same time it is the thing that we are very famous for. The Fab Lab are always considered in any city some like fabulous places where things happens. So and where creative people or innovative projects are done. So this is something that is very cool for us, and at the same time we keep our service soul. Let's say we have a community soul and a service soul that is very useful for us, because it is the sustainable part of, it is sustaining the big expensive that a Fab Lab has, like, a lot of electricity and then materials.
I have another question for Irene Mezzetti. I don't want to bore anyone, so if someone have to leave or anything, just feel free. It's okay. It will be nice to extend the conversation if you feel like so. But I have a question for Irene. Why? So I understood that IBO is using in Parma Officine On as their offices spaces mainly. Do you know why? I mean, what was the first motivation for IBO to use Officine On?
This is a very interesting question, but I'm gonna have to ask someone to the rescue because I don't have an idea. I would just believe that since we offer services to the community and to we wanted to interact as much as possible. Maybe we looked to the place that was already offering a community space. I don't know how to explain it. And so we found that there, but I'm not sure that this is the actual answer to this question. So if someone has to add something, because I have like, yeah.
Maybe I can help you. Like because I know Ibo since last year. I know that like the first strategic choice to come here in Parma is also because Parma is rich of businesses and corporates. So that was actually one of their choice to open here a branch also.
And why? But why Officine On? Okay, I get it. Parma is a very good spot to be there.
I think that probably when they were looking for places to stay, because Ibo's Italia staff here in Parma is only 2 people right now. Officine On and the co-working space was actually a very good spot to be in.
Because we had
yeah, exactly. So because they didn't need, you know, an entire room for themselves, so they could also use shared desks, for example, or they could also be in a room with shared desks like we have, and that's actually how they are working right now. They use our shared desks together with the other coworkers.
I understand. It's rather nice because, yes, for sure it was some economic motivation, like it is cheaper to go to a co-working than to rent an apartment. And then because of that, they also could make this Sport and Me project. So
yeah, exactly. Of course, I mean, you have to consider the value that being in a co-working space could have when, as we were saying before, you put yourself in a network of people that have different levels of expertise in different categories of professional lifestyle.
Super interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's consider it a presentation.
Yeah.
Or, okay, let's call. Someone has something to add or to ask. And if not, we are going to, I don't know, take this wine and this Parmigiano that you promised me many months ago.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for staying up until the end. The resistant one.
I really want to say thank you also to our guests, Irene and Alexandra. Thank you for being with us. Yeah, I think we can call it a day.
Yeah. I just want to add that we were with the stress of making it very fast because we just had 10 hours. And now I feel a little sad because we are saying goodbye. But it's okay. It's not the end of the way. It's just the beginning. And
the invitation to Parma is still on the table,
yeah, of
right?
course. And 2021 gonna be a better year. No matter how 2021 gonna be, it's gonna be better for sure. It's not like positivity.
Nothing can beat this year.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Irene. Thank you, Alexandra.
Thank you, guys.
And
I want to thank you, Pepe.
Yeah.
And Flori and Giorgio, and also our guests, Irene and Alexandra. And I think we can say Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
To all.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Crăciun fericit in Romanian.
Buon Natale.
Mulțumim.
And
Grazie.
and
and meet
yeah.
at the next project.
Yes.
The best project,
project.
best practices.
and we're gonna share with you the links so to get
Yes.
yes, it's important to say that also to get the document.
Yeah.
So, well,
Thank you.
ciao,
Yeah,
ciao.
thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Bye, guys.
Bye
Ciao.
bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.
Bye
Merry
bye.
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas to you. Yeah. Cheers. Bye bye.